What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the debut album from the band Wülfskol, entitled Hellshock. This is released on Heretic Thorns. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Houston, Texas, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very quick, venomous, renegade hybrid of both black metal and punk rock. Yeah. I have been very, very excited for a release like this for many, many different reasons, because this is the first release to come through the label known as Heretic Thorns, which is run by my very good friend David, who is responsible for a lot of great bands to come out of the Texas metal underground, like Bohemian, Morbus 666, and most notably, one of the best death metal bands to exist in Texas right now with Imprecation. He announced that he was going to be starting a new label, independently run, putting out some solid releases. And one of the releases in question was for a new project that he was doing entitled Wülfskol, which is something completely different from what we would normally expect someone like him to be involved with. Of course, the black metal elements are there, but you have the inclusion of classic hard rock, thrash, speed metal, heavy metal, punk, just a lot of great, great influences. I mean, stuff that comes to mind would be like early AC/DC with the Bon Scott era, Venom, Danzig era Misfits, all that kind of stuff. And I had the privilege of getting to see this band live earlier last year, and it was just a blast. It was fun to see something new, something different done, but it had a very old school mentality going for it, and I was excited to hear music. And in 2016 they put out a demo called Satanic Wolf Mapped, which was just a couple of songs but really showcased the kind of potential this band could bring. And now here we are with the very first full-length from Wülfskol entitled Hellshock. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 23 minutes in length, and honestly, this is a short album, but I feel that with this album being short, I don't think they needed to make things any lengthier. This is an album that's very much fulfilling of the term all killer, no filler. That's what I get when I listen to something like Hellshock, and this is an album full of great riffs, great moments, just something to headbang to and have a good rocking good time with. The main story of Wülfskol to me is definitely the music, and these guys are so gifted and so amazing at what they do here. The guitar riffs definitely, it has a mind of its own. It has a presence and aura that makes an album like this so special. Hearing the opening riffs on the track I Am the Devil's Blood, to later songs like Scream and Cheetah Roll, which by the way is one of my favorite songs of this year, song and title wise. I fucking love that song a lot. And then songs like Lucifer's Spell, you get some incredible guitar riffs. You definitely feel that hard edge of both black metal and punk rock going for it. Very much aggressive, in your face, and just very memorable from the get-go. The bass work on here is very awesome too, very gritty, very rattling. I love the fact that there's a bass tone on here that can rattle your senses, and that's what I get when I listen to Hellshock, especially towards the first half of this record. Once again, going to songs like Age of Fire and Violator, just some very memorable moments to be heard with the bass guitar. The drum work on here is very good too. Every single song that's on here is pretty short, sweet, and to the point, but this drummer nails it in quite nicely with the influence, getting a little bit of that punk sort of D-beat-esque vibe with the drumming. I really like and appreciate what this drummer brings to the table here. He delivers a very solid performance and keeps a very awesome pace and movement going all the way throughout. And one of my favorite things about this album is the vocals. Not only the inclusion of David's vocals, which I'm pretty sure if you've heard his work with stuff like Morbus 666 or Imprecation, you already are familiar with his vocal stylings. Very rough, very angry. A little bit of that pitch of reverb in his voice. Just that early old school sort of aggression coming from his vocals makes everything sound wonderful. But I love the inclusion of the gang chants, the "oh" sort of thing going on here with the vocals. Going back to the song Age of Fire, which I think is one of my favorite songs on here because of the inclusion of both the harsh vocals and the gang chants. That's where you definitely get that early punk rock vibe going for it. I love the vocal stylings being done on here. David weaves some incredible vocal work here. Definitely makes you pay attention to everything that he's saying. Going back to songs like Screamin' Cheetah Roll, Lucifer's Spell, and probably one of my favorite instances of his vocal work with Succubus. Pretty much a love story in a sense when you listen to how he sings on that song. It's just really fucking badass, and I think this is an amazing vocal performance here. So overall, this album exceeded my expectations in more ways than one. If you're a fan of black metal, if you're a fan of punk rock, if you're into just really gritty, thrashy, deathy, speedy, heavy metal punk rock madness, Wülfskol is the band for you to be checking out, and I definitely would recommend everybody giving this band an album a full-on listen and have a great time with. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Age of Fire, Screamin' Cheetah Roll, Lucifer's Spell, and Succubus. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box. That's how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the full album stream, which I believe is on David's YouTube channel. The album is streaming in full, and I will leave you a link to listen to that so you can check it out, be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. And to the best of my knowledge, it is available as a very limited CD for this first run. I believe it's limited to 200 copies, and it's very DIY to the roots. This is on a digi-sleeve pack. You have the artwork by Daniel Shaw, the great saw blade. You got some additional artwork on this backside here. You open this up, you have some lyric bits and pieces, band members in question, the CD itself, and of course if you notice the font has that AC/DC high voltage sort of thing going on here. Hell 1, Heretic Thorns, comes with this little slip here with some more saw blade artwork and some additional credits. Yeah, I will leave you a link to the Wülfskol Facebook page where you can contact the band directly and see about purchasing a copy. I believe this is still readily available, so definitely pick this up however you can. So, again, this is Hellshock by Wülfskol. This is released on Heretic Thorns. Go support this. Support DIY underground Texas metal. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Definitely a fun romp if you love punk rock and black metal. So if any of you guys happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it. Or any of you guys into Wülfskol, let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Army Ho out.